Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center of Windsor, and welcome to all of those joining us online today. My name is Linda, and beside me I have Devanni Peters, who is replacing Reverend David today.
Yes, thank you, Linda. Do I have a mic? The Unity Movement embraces the inherent worth and diversity of every individual, fostering an environment of acceptance and respect for all people without distinction of any kind. We're very accepting here. We come together to encourage and support one another in our individual spiritual journey. So wherever you are in that process, we're glad that you have joined us today.
While it is a well-traveled land, we would like to respectfully acknowledge that the land that we gather in today is the traditional territory of the Three Fires Confederacy of Full Nations, comprising of the Ojibwe, the Odawa, and the Potawatomi peoples. We are grateful to work, learn, and live in this area.
So today, I'd like to introduce our music team. Yeah, there we go. Michael Karloff, and he's also brought go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, I'd like to introduce a student from the University of Windsor who I've had the pleasure of working with for several years. Jared's joining us today. Jared Vecchio.
Jared, woo! We are so happy that you're with us here today. And Linda, I'm glad that we're here together as hosting this together. And Linda, are you going to open us up with a prayer?
I will. So let's settle ourselves in. Let's make a connection with that great God presence that we have, feet firmly planted on the floor. Inspired by hope and assured by faith, I begin my Advent journey. Today's prayer is taken from the Daily Word of Unity. As Advent begins, I welcome the opportunity to reflect more deeply on what I hope for and what I affirm for my life. Hope is a seed, a possibility. My divine faculty of imagination allows the seed of hope to sprout. Nurtured by faith, the seed takes root and grows from I hope to I believe. I may have once hoped God would help me. Now I have the faith that through the Christ within, I can help myself. I may have once hoped for the life of my dreams. Now I have faith I can create the life I want through the power of my feelings and thoughts. I believe. I mindfully use these words at the start of my Advent journey and beyond. According to Scripture, Colossians 1:27, to them God chose to make known how great among the Gentiles are the riches of the glory of this mystery, which is Christ in you, the hope of glory. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Linda. I'd like to introduce our prayer chaplain today. So each Sunday we have a prayer chaplain. And Mariette Jones is the prayer chaplain today, but I don't see her here yet. But if she's signed up to be the prayer chaplain, know that she'll be here by 11:30. So, and that's upstairs in the prayer room.
And we have a prayer request box, which is right over here. There's plenty of sheets. Just fill them out and place it in the prayer box. And that prayer will be prayed over by our prayer team.
And also to remind you that we also have a 24-hour, 7 days a week prayer support through Silent Unity. And the number is 1-800-PRAY-NOW.
And now it's time for some music. Let's see what Michael has for us.
Our first song is God is My Source, and actually this is very appropriate because we are entering the Advent season. The lyrics for this kind of cover all the themes of Advent, hope, or sometimes faith, peace, joy, and love. All of those are going to come up in this song, so please stand and join us for God is My Source. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Let's do that one more time. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Faith is my source. Faith is my power. Faith gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Faith gives me everything I need. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Faith gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. One more, God. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. And please stay standing for our second song, another Karen Drucker favorite, There Is Only Love. In this moment, in my place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see seated.
Unity Spiritual Center Windsor is a progressive spiritual community that emphasizes personal growth, living consciously, and making a positive difference in the world. So as part of the New Thought and the worldwide unity movement, we strive to be compassionate, inclusive, open-minded, yeah, absolutely, service-oriented, abundant, and spirit-filled.
Unity teaches that each person is a unique, individual expression of God. Our realization of that truth evolves as we expand our consciousness through prayer and meditation. Unity emphasizes that we create our experience of life according to the thoughts held in mind. Affirmative prayer is the highest form of creative thought, while meditation stills the mind and heightens our awareness of our oneness with Spirit, each other, and all life. Living from that awareness transforms our lives and the world.
Mm-hmm. So our affirmation for December is, this season I release old patterns and welcome transformative power of new beginnings. So let's all say that together, please. This season I release old patterns and welcome transformative power of new beginnings.
And now we've got some special music coming, so thank you for that.
Jared and I are going to do a duet, in fact. Jared brought in this arrangement of Happy Days Are Here Again and Get Happy. Anybody remember Judy Garland singing Get Happy in, what was the movie, Summerstock?
Summerstock, yeah.
Yeah, so we got a little mashup here of Happy Days and Get Happy.
Forget your troubles.
Happy days
Come on, get happy.
are here again.
You better chase all your
Above
cares
are clear
away.
again.
Shout hallelujah.
So let's
Come
sing
on,
a
get
song
happy.
of cheer again.
Get ready
Happy
for
days
the
are
judgment day. The sun is shining.
All together.
Come on, get happy.
Shout it now.
Love is waiting.
There's no one
to take your
can
hand.
doubt it now.
Shout hallelujah.
So tell the world
and just get happy.
about it now.
We're
Happy
going
days
to the promised
are here
land. We're heading across the river. Soon your cares will all be gone.
There'll be no more from now on.
From now on, forget your troubles and just get happy. You better chase all your blues away. Shout hallelujah and just get happy.
Happy times.
Happy times,
Happy nights.
happy nights, happy days are here again.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you to the music team. Okay, today we are honored to welcome Stacie. Now let's see if I can say your name right. Periballi? Is that Periballi? Yes. We want to welcome her to Unity Windsor. She's going to share a powerful story of hope and transformation. So from a young age, Stacie found herself facing deep emotional challenges, experiences that left an imprint on her heart and her soul. And this created a sense of loss that followed her into adulthood. At the age of 39, she found herself in a very dark and very desperate place. So overwhelmed by the weight of her past and the pain that she was carrying, she felt that there was no way forward. And in that moment of despair, Stacie began writing a letter. The letter she thought might be her final goodbye. It was then in that stillness, because we hear it in the stillness of that dark moment, that she heard a voice. It was clear, it was unmistakable, and it was giving her direction. This voice was a call to something deep within herself. It was a connection to God, that inner wisdom that she knew she could trust. Her story is one of hope, one of faith in the liberating power of turning to a deeper strength within. So today, Stacie stands with us transformed, and we can see it by the photo. She stands transformed, having found freedom in her spirit and a deeper connection to her true self. Her story is a testimony of the idea that no matter how deep the darkness, there's always a path to light, to liberation, and to hope. So please join me in welcoming Stacie, the journey to hope, from darkness to liberation. Awesome. Have a seat. Okay, I just want to share something a little bit more personal before we get started. And it was a little over a month ago. It was actually on Thanksgiving Day. Someone that I knew ended her life. And it was heartbreaking. And it brought so much compassion out in me. And I thought, how many other people are suffering? And we have a platform here at Unity. And then my friend Pam tells me about Stacie. See, I'm following coincidences. Isn't that how spirit works? We follow coincidences. There's this thing that happened in my life. I says, wait a minute, we have a platform here at Unity, and here she's got a story. But her story didn't end the way my friends did. So let's see what I got written down here. So hearing her news really broke my heart, and it really opened my eyes to the pain that people might be experiencing. And this time of year, especially with the pressures and the expectations of this type of year, it can weigh heavily on those people who are struggling. But today, we're here to share a story of hope, a message of hope, to remind everyone that's hurting you are not alone, and that there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, Stacie, I'm honored to have you here to share your story, so let's begin. I want to talk about that pivotal moment, when you wrote that letter. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me here, Devanni. It's my honor and privilege to share with you all, and hello to everyone online. So on my 39th birthday, so that's nearing up 2 years now, I found myself laying in my bed in deep despair. I was morbidly obese, that's what I would be classified as, and I didn't have any self-worth or value, and I just didn't see the point of carrying on with life anymore. I felt my weight was one of the major factors holding me back in different areas of my life, and I just I didn't see a point of living. I had 4 children, and I do have a beautiful life, but even that did not feel worth living for. I was in such despair that the only way out, I thought, was to write a final goodbye letter to my parents and my children. And I even took a picture, and in that letter wrote, "This will be the last picture you find of me, because I no longer fit. I don't have a place on this earth." And I was in a very broken, dark spot.
And then what happened?
So for me, I use songs as kind of like a coping mechanism. So I played a song that I was familiar with that brought my inner self some comfort. I laid on my bed and took a deep breath, and I was crying, and I just cried out for hope. I have a very strong faith in God, so I believe God's presence, God's spirit spoke to me in that instant and said, "Stacie, I just need you to lose weight." And the voice was so clear, and that's what I clung on to. I just thought, okay, so that's pretty tangible. I could probably do that. So I will follow your obedience, and I will do just that.
Yes, so that was a moment of hope. And so is that how you felt? And so what were the next steps?
Yeah, so nothing really transpired. So in Canada, in North America where we live, our first instinct is to phone our healthcare, our doctor, right? Like we typically that's what we do. Okay, if you need help, you go to a doctor. So I then reached out to my family doctor, and then she couldn't offer too much support. So I just started going for walks and changing a bit of nutrition. But more importantly, I got connected with myself.
So did you start to feel better immediately, or was it?
No.
Tell me about the process.
Okay, so it wasn't immediate, but it was the conviction that I had on my heart, and that I just kept pressing forward every single day, no matter how hard or the struggle was. I knew I had a substantial amount of weight to lose, so that was a bit overwhelming, and I just really narrowed it down to, let's just try to lose 1 pound at a time. And that was my main focus. Let's lose 1 pound, and then another, and then 140 later.
Yeah, if we can go back to that picture, just because we're talking about it now, that before and after picture, because it's pretty transformative. Of 140 pounds gone, that's a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight off. And so, is that what kept you going? Okay, it's working.
So the weight, I gave myself, I was trying to lose 100 pounds in 1 year, and I did accomplish that goal. So after a year it was the physical transformation of what was keeping me going of that year. So when I hit the 1 year mark, which was March of 2024, I still felt empty. I thought that once I lost the weight, I am a single mom of 4, and I deeply craved an intimate relationship with a male companion, and that I thought would bring out my worth and value. And I thought, I heard the voice, well, if you just need to lose weight, then your prince in shining armor, well, he's going to run in and rescue you. Well, that didn't happen. I lost the 100 pounds and felt myself even more empty. The physical weight disappeared, but internally I was still so empty. There was such a void inside that could not be filled without the help of my higher power.
Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about how you connected with that higher power. The higher power meaning that God within you, right?
Yes.
That inner wisdom that you
Yes.
connected to. And so what was that process?
So that was a lot of prayer, a lot of stillness, I was so empty. I had no one to turn to that could fill this void that I was feeling in my whole being, that I had to go dig some pretty deep things in my soul that I had to unpack, because I have never felt good enough. I have never felt worthy and deserving, and all those lies were very consuming and taking over my whole life. That's what I was affirming, that I am useless, and it was such a dark presence that kept consuming my mind, that I would never amount to anything, and I don't belong.
And I love how you say that that was a lie, because you're right, that was a lie. So through this process, because I know now she's just full of joy, she's just living life, and you're keeping the weight off.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not coming back. And I would say, to piggyback on this, that so because I've had such a transformation inside, that I can't go back to my old patterns of thinking. And even if I did, I immediately stop myself and say, remember, going back to those old beliefs and patterns and thoughts would be like gaining the 140 pounds back. So that immediately, I catch my thoughts there and say, okay, we're not going to, we're all human. We all still experience some, dark moments or whatever, but I can get to myself and say, well, if you're going to go back there, you must gain the 140 pounds back. Do you want to do that? And immediately say no. Okay, so then we, try to work
Yeah, you
through.
got to work on yourself. So I don't know if
Absolutely.
anybody else notices when you're on the spiritual journey, you have to do, it's a continuous, we call it work. I don't know, is it work? But it's life. It's what we have to do. It's steady. And you talked about expectations there earlier too. Yeah, you got to let go of expectations because you think, okay, now I hear the voice of God. Okay, now I'm going to do this. But then your mind goes into areas, okay, I'm going to expect this and expect that. And you have to even let that go. That's something I really learned from studying and practicing yoga, is to let go of those expectations. Because I always had these huge expectations as well. And you're always disappointed because when Spirit works through you, you never know where it's going to go. And I just feel that you're going to really go places because you're really sticking with it, and you're just so full of energy and so full of the joy now.
Yes.
Yes. And so what gave you the courage? What gave you that courage? Well, I guess it's kind of already touched on that. It was the weight, eh? It was the weight. Once the weight was gone, it still didn't make you fully happy, but you had to continue. So it was a continuous journey. It's what it is, right? It's a continuous journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, the weight came off, but I was still so broken inside that's really where the beauty and transformation really did happen. So a lot of people do compliment and say, oh, you look great. And I say, yeah, I do. I feel better. My body feels better. But the real joy is the transformation that really did happen on the inside. And I can, like my children, I can just be a better mom and just a better friend and bring so much love and light to people. And I see everyone as an equal, as to myself, and I believe that we are all of equal. No one is better than one another. We may
That's
all
unity,
look
yes.
different. We do different things, but in the eyes of God, He loves us all. Like we are all His, and we each have a plan and a purpose, and we just really need to continue to tap into that. And
Did you find a spiritual community at all to go to?
yes, so I am part of a local church in my hometown, and that has really helped shape who I am. And also my community. I have such great support, friends, just people who have really come alongside me, have always been praying for me. And
So prayer, do you meditate? I'm
Yes.
just wondering what your process is of
Yes.
keeping that connection.
okay, so yes, I pray a lot and I meditate. I also find myself best getting my thoughts sorted out and I move my body. So I spend a lot of time in nature, especially in nature, because I feel very grounded there, and outside with the sun, right? Like I just feel that really brings my...
So you're constantly seeking for that connections.
Yes.
Yep.
Be-
Remember, seek and you shall find. This girl was seeking and she found. She found her own way. It doesn't matter if we do it through a Christian faith or through Muslim or through Buddhism. It doesn't matter as long as we're doing the work. Yeah, so just wanted to point that out too.
And someone pointed out this week, just in passing, they said I was like a pit bull when I don't let go. So, kind of my personality, right? Like I persevere, and
Yeah.
that's and I will continue to hope to help others. Persevere. If you feel alone in darkness, you are never alone, right? And that's something I had to. I didn't believe, right? Like I always thought I've been so alone and uncared for, but that's not true, right?
Yes, and I think that's the big message is what the mind, yoga they always tell us, the mind will always lie to you, but your body never will. So those things that keep coming in our mind, they're not even true. It's not even the truth. We feel it. When we feel it, that's the truth. And so you felt that, and that's what you went with. And that's what, it just brings you joy, doesn't it?
Yes.
And you've made it, and you're doing it if you find peace, if you're in joy. When you're going through it, it's something else. But you'll end up with peace and joy. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're wondering if maybe the audience has some questions for Stacie. We're going to go into the audience now, and so just as we're getting some questions from the audience, what are your hopes for others for your story? Like, what's your hope? How could you bring hope to others? Like, just something that you could say to someone who's struggling, especially at this time of year.
So my hope would be, don't give up. Don't let go.
I love that.
Try, just, even if it's just a baby step, one baby step after another, just don't lose hope. Just keep trying. I know it's hard. I know it can be heavy and consuming, but with one step in front of the other, there will be an unraveling process. It definitely is not immediate. It can be, but in my circumstance, it was not immediate, but I just had to follow through with the plan. And like I said, I thought, well, the wait was the transformation, but it wasn't. But then I kept pressing forward. Always press forward, regardless. Even if you take a couple steps back, again, try.
Yes.
Always pick yourself back up.
I think that's important, yeah, because sometimes it is not always immediate. I think there is miracles and there's times when things are instant, but I think we need to learn lessons along the way. Isn't that the purpose of the journey, of the process of it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And my biggest lesson was I am worthy and I am loved.
Yes.
And I am lovable and
Love
I'm
hearing
wanted and all the things. Even if I don't receive that validation from the outside, it's all within. I have been constantly seeking assurance and validation from the outside world and what would fulfill me, and nothing ever fulfilled me. Nothing sustained that, because that is just a reflection of what we feel on the inside. But we have it available to us at all times. We can. So yeah, sometimes I do suffer of loneliness or despair, but I get quiet, and in prayer I'm reminded, you're not alone, Stace. I'm right here with you. And when I'm able to hold on to that, it's just such a breath of fresh air that I am loved unconditionally.
Yeah, and speaking to you, yeah. Yes. And we have a question.
Yes, one right here, though.
Oh, right over here, okay.
Is the mic on?
Yep, we hear you.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
My question is, that darkness of your past, do you believe that it sometimes still lingers within you? As you were saying, we are all human.
Absolutely. So I just kind of briefly touched on that just now. So there are moments when that those thoughts and feelings, the darkness does want to come back and speak to me and say, well, who do you think you're...
It's the mind.
It's the mind, right? Like,
Yeah.
you really think you're good enough, and then I believe the thoughts momentarily, and then I go back to stillness, prayer, and what really matters is what God thinks about me, what He says I am, who He says I am. That's all that really matters.
Yes.
So, yeah, to answer your question, yeah, the thoughts do come, but it's how quickly you could just try to counteract them and fill them with positive and light and the truth of who we are.
Yes, yes. Yeah, and again, it's just the mind. The mind is speaking to us, and it tells us lies. We got another question. You're doing great. And just to let you know that Stacie's children are here today. Three of them, three of her four.
Excuse me, I just didn't hear what you said that the voice said to you in the very first place when you were in despair and you said you heard a voice come to you within. I didn't catch what you said. The
Okay.
voice said.
Okay, so what was said is, I just need you to lose weight. Yes, that's what I heard. Just lose the weight. Very direct, yes.
So how did that make you feel? Well, just lose weight. Was it an immediate, oh my God, all I gotta do is lose weight and then I'll be fine?
Absolutely. Like it just was.
But that was the first step.
Yeah, I was just
was only
like,
the first
okay,
step.
I can do that. That sounds, difficult. Obviously, I had a large amount of big number to lose, but I thought, okay, well, I can at least attempt that because it was tangible, right? So sometimes when we're doing the transforming
Transforming or transformation.
work inside, it's not always that tangible. That's where the mucky waters, that's where you have to kind of unpack and sit, because there's nothing you can do to achieve, because it's just activating what our soul is.
Yeah.
Right?
And maintaining whatever, doing it is one thing, but maintaining it is another. And one thing we do kind of need to do is, my microphone is not working the best, but that's okay, I'll work through this, is listening to these songs that we're hearing today, practicing on a regular basis, so that when those times come, because sometimes when your mind's talking to you, you start listening to it and you actually start believing it. I know, because I've been in that place too. I've been in dark places too. Maybe not where I wanted to end my life, but I have been to the place where I don't really want to live anymore. So I've been to that place and had these expectations, and they never worked out for me. And so it's a steady practice, and when you're there by the amount of peace and joy that you feel.
Hi, thank you for telling us your story. I really agree with you about community too. Like, how important was that to you?
Community?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your support.
Absolutely, because that was, without them, I still felt alone. So I had a few trusted people and friends that were there for me, that could constantly count on, and I knew that they would give me encouraging advice, and they loved me and really supported this entire journey. And my one particular friend, she heard a lot from me, from crying to where I am today, the whole journey. And
What a blessing that is.
Absolutely.
And I know I struggle with a sense of belonging. A lot of us do. And sometimes, we can sit and just be, check in with our bodies, breathe, and get in touch with the truth. And it's also so wonderful to hear a friend. This morning I called Silent Unity, which is a 1-800-NOW-PRAY, a prayer line, and just to hear her words of truth, that person, not me having to create it, just to hear it from a friend, and not that I'm her friend, but we're as one, so we're friends. It's just so, it's a new way of being in this sense of belonging, this sense of community, because we've been so isolated. So thank you, Stacie, for your witness.
Yeah, thank you. This is Mariette. She is the prayer chaplain for today. And also just to the prayer, calling that 800 number, I have called it several times. And just to hear those encouraging words, it shifts your energy, and all of a sudden you're out of your head and you're back in your heart. It's available 24/7. We've talked about it before. It's there for us to use. It's a tool.
Yeah, and you were kind of asking what kind of tool. So that would be a great tool to have. Another tool is we all carry around these little black things in our pockets, and most of us have access to podcasts. So just really getting some encouragement, whether it's indirect or direct, you can always hear messages through other people and their stories, and I guess that's what you're asking, what are my hopes? And it is just that, right? When I hear some really touching, encouraging stories it really impacts my life, that to know you're not alone, and other people do struggle, and they persevere, and they can come on the other side. What testimonies those are, right?
Yeah, and once you've been touched like because I feel we all probably have. And for me now, when I'm going somewhere, I kind of recognize who's sad in the room. And I would literally go sit beside that person because I've spent so much time in sadness that I recognize that. And Spirit is using me to go bring comfort to that person. So once you start on this journey, then you're called to continue on it. Okay. Another question?
Hi. I just want to thank you for your inspiration for everyone in here. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. We all have a truth meter inside of us, and it's goosebumps when you get that feeling. And when you just spoke a little while ago, and you talked about the true power within being love and that joy, and you started spewing that out, like I got full of goosebumps. I looked around the room, and you could see you were lighting up the whole room. So that's where it's at. It's that love. It's that inner strength, love that never leaves us. Every culture calls it something different, God, Christ within, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's pure love. And when you spewed that pure love out, my meter went off. That's the truth. And if you stay in that moment, if you stay in that spot and always say to yourself, I'm so loved, and tell everybody, you're so loved, it's absolutely beautiful. I was at a graduation yesterday for a friend who was at Brentwood. And one of the key messages that was there was that you got to get out and get help. You got to ask people for help, because if you think no one can help you, then you're not believing in unity and you're not believing in love. So we're so glad you're here and you're helping with our community. So thank you so much for the inspiration.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, and she does spew out those words. And you know what? How we're going to heal the world, this is an Oprah quote, by women telling their stories. And I guess it's not just women, it's just everyone. We need to tell our stories, but tell our stories of where we started and how we transformed through it. It gives people hope, because there are people out there with no hope. And so I'm hoping that we're going to touch some lives today. That's my
There's
hope.
a question there.
You have another question?
I'm wondering, did you have any struggles with motivation in your weight loss journey? And if you did, what did you do to get over that?
So, yes, of course, I had struggles. And even to this day, I, am human. So I still sometimes have struggles. But I am eye on the prize kind of girl. And I am a checklist kind of girl. So I do have like this app, and a personality, and I'm very task oriented. So I had to have a direct plan of what I was going to do, and as long as I could check off those check marks, that's what kept me accountable and motivated, and always going back to that list.
So you're kind of looking at the end point, always looking at the end, the end result. So you know how in manifestation they always tell you to see what it's going to be like in the end? You're constantly living there?
Yes.
Yes.
So, right. So how would I feel when I was lighter? I would do a lot of that kind of, those kind of techniques. What would my life look like? What kind of clothes could I wear? All the things I would tap into.
Yes, it inspires you, right?
Absolutely, to keep going. Like to imagine, like I could dress like that and look like that. Like that did give me, inspiration.
Just like we have an empty dining room right now, and I've got my table taped off of where the new table is going, because we want a really big table. And I never walk across the table. Even though there's no table there, I imagine there's a table there, and I walk around the table. I know there's going to be a table there. My husband's actually going to make it for me, I believe. But seeing where you're going to be. Don't look at where you're at right now.
Absolutely. Look forward. Yes. Yep.
You can look at where you're at right now and applaud yourself for the good work you've done today.
Absolutely.
True. Let's give her an applause
Yeah.
for where she's at today. Like, look at that. 140 pounds. That's not that's not something easy. I struggle with an extra 5 here and there. But yeah, is there anything more that we can? Is there any more questions? We got one more in the back. Yeah, thank you, Linda, for.
I just wondered if you could share any community supports that you utilize, like for counseling, or did you call any of the 800 numbers that are available? Do you know about any of those?
Yeah, so I didn't because financial reasons. I was not able to access like a therapist or any formal type of support. But my support is sitting right in the front row there. They were always there for me, and when I was having some bad moments, I knew one of those three that are sitting right there, I could always pick up the phone, and they were supporting me and being my cheerleaders. And I also did a lot of online work, and I would reach out to forums and things that were free, and I would try to find different people. Actually, piggyback, kind of, this is part of this story too, is of motivation. And I found this girl on Instagram, and she lost 100 pounds naturally. And I immediately thought, oh, so no surgery, nothing. I thought, if she can do it, why can't I? And
This is why we tell our stories.
yes, and so that gave me a little bit of hope. And so I would dabble in her content, and I would look what she was posting, and then it led me to different posts and different platforms to look at maybe different recipes and up your protein and just food choices, right? So all of that helped shape the entire journey. It's not just one direct thing. It was a conjunction of many.
And once you put your intention out there, Spirit will send you that. That's what happens, eh?
Yeah,
Like, okay,
absolutely.
this is my intention, and then Spirit sends you the people. Just like me, I was looking for somebody for the platform, and just you showed up, and it's like, yeah, this is perfect. We're doing this.
Hello. Hi, Stacie. When I knew you were speaking, I did a little bit of scrolling through some of your content. And I'd like you to tell us more about your food journey, because now, what I discovered was that Stacie loves food, but she loves to cook for others and really share her gift of culinary skills or even just passion, right? So am I on the right track there?
You are, and I'm
Okay.
so glad you asked that.
Cool.
So a while back, I did start this trend thing that I was going to share my culinary skills with people, and I started, I love to cook, but there was still a reason behind why I was doing that. So the reason why I was actually cooking and inviting people over was to do something to get them to like me. It wasn't that I was doing it because I wanted to be a blessing. I wanted to do it for something in return. Look what I could provide you so you can fill a need for me. It was still that external validation of, if I do this for you, and that was a pattern I had to recognize my growing up, and in my early years, I was always a doer. What could I provide for you to get to like me? It started early on at a very young age, and then it carried forth through my teenage years, where I found myself in very unhealthy relationships because I desperately wanted someone to love and choose me. Regardless of the costs, I was willing to do whatever with anybody. I found myself in a relationship with a married man just to feel that he could choose me above someone else, because that was like such a deep void. I wanted to do to get. There is no doing to get. The get is always there. We just need to tap into that, like I said. We don't need to work hard and do anything for anything external. It's all just within.
Yeah. And it's not easy, but it's also not hard. It's not easy, but it's also not hard, yeah.
And I want to ask a question. What is your passion now? So to me, I see that sharing was really interesting because the food aspect kind of, there's a little, I can't think of the word. Oh, I can think of oxymoronic, but that's not the right word. It's like the contradiction of the food being like your source of giving love, and the same source was feeding you, but it was detrimental in a sense. So if that really was not done from a place of, well, I would just say the intentions were different and they weren't authentic. So what would be your authentic passion now? Like if you were to do anything every day for the rest of your life, what is your passion?
My passion would to share with people and love people right where they're at and give people hope. And I really want everyone to see the beauty of within themselves, of that we are all equal. That's so important to me, that we're all loved. It's very hard for me now because I was in it that I felt useless. I want people to feel important and loved, and if I could just show them and explain to them how beautiful and important and lovable and all the things, all the fruits of the Spirit that they really are. And that brings me such joy of seeing beauty in everything and everyone and just sharing love and being love. We're all called to just be love and to share it amongst each other.
Yeah, I like the idea of sharing. So thank you for sharing, because I don't know if you knew this. If you have gifts and you don't share them, do you know that they're going away? They're going to somebody else? If we're given gifts, we are here to share them. And I know sometimes it's really hard, even for me, to be up here, the shy person that I used to be. You know, and usually you'll be asked, if by Spirit, you won't be asked something easy. It's probably going to be a little bit challenging. But we're here to share our gifts, and so thank you, Stacie. So let's give Stacie a round of applause. And Stacie will now guide us in a meditation.
Is there background music?
He will play something soft
yes,
behind.
Thank you. Just want everyone to relax their feet. Plant your feet firmly on the ground. From your feet to your legs, to your torso, to your arms, your hands, your neck, your head. When we're at the top of our head, just release any uneasiness, any clutter in the mind. Let it go. We welcome the Spirit of God to fill our presence, to fill our hearts. Imagine walking up to an altar. Whatever burdens, heaviness, thoughts, lies, whatever we're carrying. Maybe they're in a giant Santa sack. As we're approaching Advent, we're in Advent. Maybe our bag is very heavy. We've got a lot of junk in it. And we're just asked, lay one burden, lay one thought, surrender. One thing after the other. The moment we want to hang on to something, ask for help. Why do I want to hang on to that? What good is this serving me? Nothing. I want peace. I want joy. I want to be happy. I want to be loved. It's me. You find it all through me. But I'm scared. What if things look different? What if I am different? What if I'm no longer accepted? It's okay. You've got me. But I want those things. You don't need them. You've got me. In stillness, I embrace the presence of love, of joy, of peace, a peace that surpasses all understanding. Hope, abundance. You have it all through me, in me, right now, right here. But I want it from the outside world. I know you do. You think it feels good. For a moment it feels good, but it'll go away too. Come back. Come back, my precious daughter. Always come back to my arms. I've got you. I'm never leaving you. You will never be alone. And when I feel like running back into the world and finding those things, I run back to that altar. I'm safe. Every time. Every time I go out there in this big, dark world, I know at that altar there's peace. And everything I laid down out of that big sack, it's gone, just like that. I now pick up that bag, that big sack, and it's empty. I no longer have to drag it back out into the world. I get to carry it. It's light. I'm light. There's a new sense of hope, a new lightness in me. And that's what's going to carry into the world. That's the love, light, peace, hope, joy that transcends into this world. So I go back from my head all the way to my feet, knowing now I'm lighter. He takes all of our burdens and carries them away. Now, with a deep breath and an exhale, I hope you feel a little bit lighter.
Okay, thank you, Stacie, for sharing. So we'll have a seat at this time. Thank you. Have a seat. You did amazing. Okay, so you have a seat.
Thank you so much for that wonderful conversation. How do we learn? Through these conversations with people who have been through what Stacie has been through. Stacie, I hope you come back here. She is as beautiful on the outside with her appearance and her speaking as she is on the inside. She's done her work.
Yeah.
And it shows. Thank you again.
Yes, we appreciate you here. Yeah, thank you to our music team, Mike and Jeremy. Jeremy? Yes, thank you. And thank you, Jennifer, as well. Jennifer is our live stream person. We really appreciate you as well, Jennifer.
Yeah, I love her technical skills.
Yeah. Yeah, and at this time, let us take to heart our vision, mission, statement, and being, which is shown on the screen.
We have a global vision. Will you please speak that with me? Our vision is a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening.
We have a sacred mission. Will you say that with me? We inspire and empower spiritual growth to awaken us and transform the world.
And we have a personal statement of being. Will you please say that with me? I am a dynamic center of the Christ light, mighty to unfold that good and radiate that good to all.
So we have a lot of announcements for you today, so please remember that additional information about these and other events can be found in our weekly newsletter and also on our website. Now, one thing that didn't make it into our slide is every year we sponsor a family, and this was Donna called me and just kind of asked me to mention this. Donna is part of the outreach team, so this year we're sponsoring a single mother with 5 children. So she has 4 girls, aged 10, 12, and 14, and 16, and then a boy aged 17. So there's only 2 Sundays left to get your gifts to them. We will be sending out an email, so everybody who's on our email list will be sending out an email. So please respond to that as to help us support that family.
Great, thank you so much.
Yeah, and today after fellowship time, we're going to be decorating the Christmas tree. So we're all with. Who's going to help out with the Christmas tree decorating today? Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, so at least 4, 5. So we've got a little group here. Got a little group going. Thank you for everyone that's participating in that.
On December 8th, Mariette will be speaking on the topic, Less Worrying, More Thinking. So we're looking forward to that.
Yes. So today is the first day of Advent, and the Advent booklets are available in the foyer. They're free of charge, and there's also a few upstairs in the bookstore as well. So if you can go and get your copy up there.
Learn to cope with the pressures of daily lives. Discover how to respond differently to stress. Explore your body's response. Enjoy a relaxing hour, and actually there will be 4 because it's on every Monday evening in the 4 weeks. and because it's going to be on Zoom. Now, the first one was on November the 25th. Tomorrow will be the next one, then December 9th and December 16th. They're Mondays. And the time is from 8:30 to 9:30. For more information and to register, please see your newsletter. Visit our website, and there are flyers upstairs in the foyer and in the elevator and in the fellowship hall.
Okay, our outreach team is kickstarting the annual food and clothing drive. So it started November 17th, and it's going to continue on until the 8th. So that's till next week. So you can find the boxes for donation at the front entrance and also upstairs in the hospitality room. So please take note that only winter clothing is being accepted at this time. Of special value are mitts, gloves, hats, new long johns, so don't go donating your old long johns, new long johns, new underwear, new socks, and other warm clothing such as sweaters, jackets, warm pants, boots, and shoes, and that kind of thing. So non-perishable food items such as pasta, sauce, and canned foods, peanut butter, juice boxes, that kind of thing.
Christmas is coming, yes, to sharing and caring. Once again, your outreach team is excited to partner with a family in need of a happy Christmas day. Will you help us make dreams come true? Let's all pitch in and make it happen. Stay tuned for more details, and I think that's what you were talking about earlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's written right here in my script, so good.
Okay, and as a reminder, our prayer chaplain is Mariette. Did she go upstairs already?
She must have.
She must have. She's already upstairs. So if anybody needing prayer, she's in the prayer room from 11:30 till 12:30, I believe. So if you need help getting there, and we don't know where to go, just let me know.
All of our classes, programs, and services are made possible by your generous donations. Our heartfelt thanks for your continuous support. We've created many easy ways to donate, which you can find on the website.
Yeah, and we have a love offering box near the foyer door, and also envelopes and pens where you can drop off your tithe and love offerings. And just to let you know, money is not the only way that we can give. You can give of your time, and you got talents. We can give of your talents as well. So it's not just money that we give, but we do like your money as well. But just remember, there's other ways to give.
So we invite you now to please stand, open your hearts and minds in gratitude as we close by speaking the love offering prayer, followed by the peace song, and closing with the prayer for protection.
Divine love in me and through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Of the love surrounds us. We are light. The love of the divine enfolds us. We are love. The peace of love fills us. We are peace. The power of love protects us. We are power. The presence of love watches over us. We are presence. Wherever we are, love is. All is divine. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And have a great week, and please come upstairs for some refreshments.